Okay, so good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Youth and Education Monthly Committee meeting. It is now 7:38 p.m. and I'm going to call the meeting to order. My name is Gail Grandison and I am the chair of the Youth and Education Committee. I'm going to ask you guys as I call your name to kindly introduce yourself, whether you're a committee member, board member, or both. Ms. Saunders.
Good evening, everyone. Cheryl, I'm a committee member. Thank you. Have a good
Thank you. Good to see you. Ms. Walls. Ms. Walls, are you there? Okay. Mr. Blaze.
You have to unmute yourself. You have to, if you want to speak, you have to.
Try to unmute. Okay, Ms. Walls. Mr. Blaze, can you introduce yourself, please? Okay, Ms. Walls is here. She's just having um, some issues unmuting herself. Mr. Blaze, can you introduce yourself, please?
Good evening, Gail. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Sorry, it's just a little loud where I am, so I didn't want to unmute where I was.
Got you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Blaze, a local author from Brooklyn. Have my fictional series out, Dogs of the Wild. I have my latest release, Is Your Son Ready to Leave Home? And I also have a home buyer's book. And I'm here to create a bunch of new writers everywhere that I go, and looking forward to partnering with Gail every step of the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Mark.
Hi, my name is Edith Mark. I'm a board member as well as a committee member. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Miss Mark. Cibro Calderon.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tisania Cibro Calderon. I'm a committee member.
Thank you. I had Miss Wall. Let me see who's next. Ayana.
Hey everyone, I am Ayana and I am a committee member.
Thank you. Miss McCain Brown.
Good evening, everyone. Monica McCain Brown, committee member.
Thank you. Miss Charles. Okay. Miss Charles, can you hear me? Okay, let's see. Mr. Alberic.
I'm here. How you doing?
I'm good. Just introduce yourself.
I'm sorry. Um, com- Community board member and a committee member.
Thank you. Did I miss anyone? Wow. Let's see. Always have such a hard time with WebEx. Okay. Is there anyone I didn't call that I'm not seeing? Just, I think I can see hands if they go up. So hopefully tonight, if there's any questions, usually, just a heads up, I don't always see them. So I'm gonna ask Miss Farah if we're doing any, if we're having the discussion and anyone put their hand up and you can see, just let me know, okay, please?
Okay.
Because I don't always see the hands. So weird how WebEx works. Okay. All right, so I'm going to move on to the chairperson report. And my report is mainly about things that are happening for the holidays. Yeah, it's that time of the year again. So let me start with tomorrow, Thursday, December 11th. I don't know how many of you know, but there is a Community Board 17 Planning Study Kickoff event, right? And this is, it says, join Council Member Joseph, Council Member Lewis, the City Council Planning and Land Use Team, and Department of City Planning to discuss the upcoming planning study for Community Board 17. So seems like there's going to be this whole study around our community. If you guys can come out, it's from 7 to 8:30 p.m. tomorrow at PS 181, which is 1023 New York Avenue between Snyder and Tilden Avenues. If it is not too cold or what, it would be great that you come out, you be informed, you give your opinion about things or state facts, but most of all, please be involved. Please be involved. There's so many times I sit on that board, there are things that are happening, and people are usually like, well, I didn't know about this, I didn't hear about this, oh, when did this start or what? And I would love all of you to come out, listen intently to what the plans are for our community. Make your voices be heard if you like or dislike something, or you think it's not a good fit for this community, but be informed. Okay, and that's tomorrow. Miss Frazier, do you Miss Frazier, Miss Farah, do you have this flyer
Yeah, I
solely?
do have the flyer. It's also on our website too, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
send an email out tomorrow as like a final reminder.
Okay, great. But it's at PS 181, 1023 New York Avenue between Snyder and Tilden. And we have our council members, Joseph and Lewis, and New York City Planning and Land Use Team. I think our land use team is going to be there also. So please, if you can, come out and let your voices be heard. Moving on. So the Parks and Beautification Committee, or annual children's annual holiday party, is December 19th, which is next Friday. It's from 6 to 9:30 p.m. It's going to be held at PS 198, 4105 Fargate Road. That is the school directly across from the board office, across also from Golden Crust. So we're asking you, if you've got, young kids, grandkids, niece, nephews, whatever, just come out, bring them out. I'm sure Santa will be there. But there's also the tree lighting ceremony with our councilwoman, Miss Lewis. Miss Farah, correct me, please. Who's the CBOs that will be there? Is it Elite Learners?
We invited elite learners. We also invited a couple more electeds. We invited Sesame Flyers, CERT, there's a couple more there too. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Oh,
But
okay.
like at least 5 to 6.
5 to 6 of our CBOs. So just come on out. Now, is the lighting ceremony going to be in the park or is it going to be by the board office?
I think
Miss
the plan
Farah,
is to do it in the gymnasium of the
like the
school.
tree in the gymnasium?
Yeah. Right now we're working on logistics on maybe having it outdoors, but I don't think we're doing it inside the park yet.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I
So
think tree lighting is going to be by the board. The tree
by the
lighting by
board.
the board and the event by the school.
Oh, okay. Well, hi, Rudy. Welcome, Mr. Daly,
Hi,
our chair.
how are you doing?
Good, good. Okay, so we're asking you to come out, support, bring your young ones. We're also asking you, two things that I'm asking of you. One is for your time and one is for a donation. So if you have any toys, you want, if you can afford to, get yes, there is a flyer for this event. Miss Farah, see in the chat that Ms. Calderon is asking if there's a flyer for the event that you can share. And maybe
Yeah, I'm
perhaps,
gonna
because
send up the.
I'm reading all of this from the newsletter. So maybe you want to share it with the group instead of doing it piece by piece. Okay. Because I'm not sure how many people get it, but all the information that I'm sharing right now is coming from the newsletter, the community updates from the board office that Ms. Farah handles. Okay. So if you have you can buy and donate a toy. It does not have to be anything humongously expensive. It could be a simple toy that a kid would like. Can someone update our committee on tomorrow's meeting information? I think I just did that. Are you talking, Ms. Walls, are you talking about the planning study?
Yeah, I'm asking if someone can update our committee, whoever attends tomorrow, on anything that might be pertinent to our committee and or any important information that we might need to know. If we're not attending, I would, love that kind of
Yeah.
summary.
Oh, sure. I'll be sure to take some notes and share back if you're not able to make it.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Yes. So we're asking you for if you can afford to buy a toy, it could be a game or something, drop it off at the board office. And then the other part to this is that they need some wrappers else, right? So they need folks to come in and help them wrap some of the gifts. The board office is open 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. If you have some free time within there, please stop by, help them, to wrap the gifts. Miss Farah, did they receive the toys as yet?
We already received a substantial amount of gifts. Those were donations from members of the community. We did reach out to
Okay.
Toys for Tots, but we haven't had it. But we do have a lot of gifts to wrap.
Oh, right. You heard it from Ms. Farah. So if you have any free time between now and next Friday afternoon, please stop by the office and lend a helping hand. Coming up next, so the Commerce Committee have this Small Business Expo. Is going to be next Tuesday, December 16th from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Flatbush YMCA. Let's see, this is hosted by the Commerce Committee, which is Mr. Bakradine. If you know someone who has a small business, please kindly invite them to attend. It's a powerful one-day event designed to equip, educate, and energize small business owners at every stage whether you're launching, scaling, or just exploring the Small Business Expo, or exploring the Small Business Expo is packed with real world value. And once again, some of the sponsors is Council Member Lewis, Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce, Little Haiti, BK, New York City Small Business Services, and sorry, I can't see this so well. It says Business something district, the Junction Business District. Not seeing it well, but it is at the Flatbush YMCA, which is at 1401 Flatbush Avenue. So, if that's something that interests you, please come out. Assembly Member Chandler, she has her Vital Voice monthly community meeting, and it's also the holiday toy giveaway. It is this Saturday, December 13th at 1:00 p.m. and it's at PS 198 at 4105 Fargate Road. Entertainment, food, toys, music. Once again, you have tots or kids. Please go out and support. It says kids, while supplies last, kids must be present. So they will be getting a toy if they are present. I'm not sure. The Reset Talk Show Christmas toy distribution is also this Saturday, December 13th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Once again, if you're available, it's at 1078 Utica Avenue. It's Reflections Church at 1078 Utica Avenue, Eats and Drinks. So lots of Christmas stuff that is happening and going on. So if you're available, you can do it as a family event. Just come out and support these different organizations and or elected officials during the holiday season. I also want to talk about, and Miss Saunders and Mr. Daly can pipe in here with this. So we went to the opening of Hide and Seek last Thursday. It's located on Utica Avenue. It's a really hide and seek, and it's members of our community. So for those who knew Suede, it's one of the owners of Suede with some other partners that have opened. It's like I call it a speakeasy lounge. So Mr. Daly and Miss Saunders, you can jump in here because you guys were also there. It was a soft opening last Thursday. I like the place. I would love for them to do well. It has such a classy feel to it. And no shade to our younger people, but I feel like it has that mature. It has a mature groove to it. But it's really nice. It's really nice. It's not a huge space. Well, I wouldn't say that because they do have the upstairs, and I didn't get to go upstairs to see what's up there, but the space that we was in, I love the decor. And
Absolutely.
I think he said that they have a backyard that during the summer, that you can be in. Anything else you guys, Miss Sanders or Mr. Daly, want to add?
Yes, you set it up, but I was blown away. Hide and seek. They said that they want to keep it like you have to know the people, and that's why it's a hide and seek. There's no sign. It's just a red door, and when you go in, you're just blown away by, as you said, Gail, very impressive chandeliers. I went after going to Congresswoman Yvette Clarke's birthday party. I and the publisher of the Positive Community, we went over, and he was blown away. He says, "Wow, this is nice." And we
Yeah.
went upstairs, which would be beautiful for private parties, and the clientele is young. They're in their 30s, their 40s, younger than me. And everybody's there, and you don't smell cannabis and you don't smell cigarettes. And the
Yeah.
food is unbelievable. We had something to eat, and it was quite nice. It's not just for drinking, it's for eating also.
Wait, so the Congresswoman had her birthday party there?
Well, as you know, the Congresswoman was part of the program for the grand opening. No, but
Right.
I think it was Saturday night. Myself and Adrian went to the Congresswoman's birthday party, and the mother, Dr. Una Clark's birthday at KAI on Dean Street. And afterwards,
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I was getting confused. I thought you were saying that um the Congresswoman had her birthday party there also, upstairs. Oh, okay. It's a different place. Okay. Got it. Mr. Daly, anything to add? No, he's not there. But it
No,
would be
I'm here.
great.
I was trying to unmute. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I think that they're very appreciative of both of the owners, Chasen and Shaka. Are one, they both live in our community, and two, they were also the owners of Straight Together and Caribbean Social in Utica on Flatbush Avenue. And so they have allocated time to the night lounge. One of the things that I was very proud of, that the ambiance that that Chair Grandison was talking about, was great. The music was not loud. It was good sound Caribbean, West Indian music. And then you had drinks at the bar that were non-alcoholic, right? And they gave teasers. And the rental component to utilize for private parties are there. So
Yeah.
people can do that upstairs. Party standing is about 100, seated is about 60, seated, and you could just rent out upstairs, right? So and again, oh, it's hide. If you go into hide and you're hiding from people, or you can seek if you are there to seek as well. So it's a good place,
Yeah.
and it's mature crowd only.
Yes, Miss Calderon, no, it's not, because I thought so also, that when I heard hide and seek, I was like, oh, I looked and I was like Manhattan Avenue, but they're saying Utica. No, it's two completely different places. At first I was wondering if they opened another one over this side of town, but it's two completely different owners, two different places. But they do have the same name, and that was confusing for me at first also. But I think it's really cute. It's nice little place. If you want to go on a date, you can go there. If you just want to go someplace to hang out, maybe with some friends or what, to sit at the bar and just, or even to relax afterward. You want a evening, something in the community, to just go have a drink or something like that. It's there. And the number one thing about it, they have a Bajan chef. Sorry, all my Barbadian brothers and sisters about that. She's Barbadian, and the hors d'oeuvres and stuff that she sent out, it tasted really good. I'm a foodie, so I always love to taste the different, Caribbean flavors and spices and stuff, being very creative, and it's not bad. It's really not bad. So, if you have some
Excuse me, could I
time.
share the address? It's
Yes, please.
1308, yes, 1308 Utica Avenue between Avenue D and Forster.
Yes. Yes. And I think it's right next door to the cab place. It's I think there's a cab company and it's right next door to. I myself couldn't I was sat in my car for a minute trying to figure out because I didn't see the red door, and then
Yeah,
I
it's a red
finally
door. Yes,
decided
no sign. There's no
no
sign.
sign whatsoever. And I finally decided, I was like, okay, let me go ask these folks standing. There were some guys standing by the event space on the other side of it. And then I realized, I was like, oh, let me open this red door. So that's a little
Rainbow
mystic to it.
Rainbow Cab Services is next to it.
Yeah, right next door to there. But the red door is the giveaway of it. So I think that is my report. Any questions? Any comments, concerns? Okay. So I just want to move on. I'm going to give Mr. Daly about 10 minutes to speak after I finish item 3. So, because I want to get through this, because tonight I have Ayana, are you there? I know Kevin is
Yes, I
here.
am.
Yes, you are. Okay. So, just so you guys know, like I'm truly looking forward to 2026. That's when the majority of our events usually take place. So, we have the essay writing competition, we have the spelling bee, we have youth happening, which I still have to see about that happening. Lots happening this year. And depending on time or what, I there might be another event that I might put in there, but I am trying to get some information before I say anything. But tonight I want to talk about the essay writing competition, and I'm going to drop a link in the chat. You should be able to open it. It's the framework that I created for the competition, and Mr. Blaze, as you heard him said, he is an author, and Miss Ayana, I've asked them to look it over. We want to bring this to you tonight for discussion around what we see here, any ideas that you have. I'm going to go through it. If I'm going to take notes as I do, ask me questions. We have about 30 minutes to do this. Ask me questions, give me ideas, give me suggestions. Talk to, Mr. Blaze. He's the expertise here. I am not. I am looking for your feedback. Okay. So, is everyone able to open the no AI? Sorry. No. No, Kamara. Because that defeats the purpose. Oops, one moment. My page just decreased significantly because. Okay, so I'm looking at official start date. Well, if you read as I go through the document, Kamara, you're going to see that it does speak towards that. You have to read through the whole thing. I'm not sure if you're able to or if you're at work and just listening in. And yes, Ms. Calderon, I welcome everyone, because we will need readers, people to score. There's a lot. Didn't see that page. Yes, there's a lot that needs to be done between now and January. So we can have a little subcommittee, whoever wants to be on it with us, to please, just drop your name. How will the committee know AI was not used? And that's something that we have to think about, because it might be the story might be too perfect. It might just come off as one of the very, what's another word I can use? Just perfect is the word. It sounds like something that out of a book, right? These are our kids, not to say that they can't write stories or what, but I think we may be able to pick up the difference between a first grader writing a story as opposed to AI writing a story for a first grader, right? I'm sure there's going to be some form or somewhere within there you're going to be like, oh my God, this sounds like something out off a press, right? So official start date February 2nd, submission deadline April 1st. So we're giving them February, March to get it done. The grading period, or whatever you choose to call it, April 6th to the 17th. So if we can give ourselves 2 weeks, and then we announce the winners in late April. This time we want it to be, since we have Mr. Blaze, please jump in here, or Ayanna as I go, to be original. We want them to write a story, right? It could be humorous, adventurous, Western, sci-fi, fantasy, fairy tales. But the objective here is for our kids to use their wits, their brains, just come up with their own original stories. Did I see something flash on the chat? If you can speak, please do so, because sometimes I'm not always looking at the chat, or it's not always flashing across my screen.
Hello, Gail. This is
Yes.
Simone.
Yes, Simone.
I just wanted to say a few things about the writing piece. I think perhaps just as a young writer, like I was well aware like 2 or 3 years ahead of reading and writing.
Mm-hmm.
And so my writing was always, when I was in elementary school, was always like, very mature, very, high vocabulary and things of that nature. So I don't want us to necessarily rely totally on that, as you say, perhaps there's some mechanism when the youth send in their document, if we can kind of I don't know, match it or find out if they have, I don't want to get too into their personal pieces, but like what their reading scores are like or something like that. Maybe we can, somehow ask that in an informal way, because if we just kind of say, oh, we're reading this and this is from a second grader and this seems very mature, very, and it might actually be that child's ability. That I just
Right.
wanted to make us aware of that as well, because we do have, gifted creative children. So but then again, the AI piece is a huge piece. I mean,
Yeah.
I work with youth, and a lot of them have started to use it. And but I'm gonna be real honest and transparent. A lot of the educators have no idea. So
Yeah.
I just want us
Yeah.
to just be mindful of that as well.
Yes, I am, because that's the first thing that I thought of. I'm like, okay, how do we go about making sure that the kids are not using AI to, complete this project.
There is
And
the
I
chat.
know that there's not 100% certainty how to monitor this, but I would say, and I take into consideration that, you're saying that kids, that there are some kids who read above grade level and have that high level of vocab and stuff like that, which is fine. We love that. Um, but if you get the perfect story, you start to wonder. And I'm going to ask Mr. Blaze, what's your take on this? How do you get around this, or how do you see us getting around this?
It's an issue that a lot of quote unquote influencers are pushing towards people to get them to create their books. And what we have to try to let the students understand is that when you let a tool create something for you, you don't own it. It may be a
Mm,
little advanced for them to understand. Maybe the high schoolers may understand that. The
mm-hmm,
maybe middle school. Uh, I don't. I don't think elementary school will be trying to pull a fast when using AI, but uh,
right. A
you.
parent,
That's true.
yeah,
We have to understand that ownership is key, and it starts at a young age when they understand that what they can create can turn into something very valuable, and they'll
mm-hmm,
take it a little more serious when they understand that you do not own it when you put it in Chat GPT or you let Chat GPT write it. You do not own it. But
yeah,
uh, aside from that, I also wanted to touch on this is great because our our children are being left out of this industry of fictional writing. When Shrek comes out, they're about to release Shrek 5 in 2026. Lilo and Stitch came out, How to Train Your Dragon, Zootopia. We're only consumers when these kind of things come out, and there's no reason why our students can't create the books that turn into those movies. And this is a great stepping stone. Part of the reason that they do not create the kind of work that turns into those movies is because they're not seeing anybody that looks like them doing it and not being told that they can do it. So this is a great step to get them towards that industry, which is a huge industry and it has space for us. We just have to guide them towards it to show them that they can do it.
yeah. Thank you. Ayanna, any thoughts from you around this with the AI piece?
Yes, for me,
Duncan
it's
also.
because this is such, this is just, we're just thinking this off the top of our head. I believe that this would be a mixed bag where there are tools that we can, put some of this through. Um, Everything is not foolproof, but I think it will help us in one direction. I believe also our judgment. I mean, I agree with Chair Gail that there will be a level of judgment from our human perspective. And then we have to kind of really rely on the honor system as well, right? There's absolutely nothing that's 100% foolproof, but I do believe that a mixed bag will help us to, um, you know, help us to narrow in on what might be AI generated. And as we move further in this, we could flesh this out a little bit more.
Yeah. Um, my educators on
Yes,
here.
hi. Anybody can hear me?
Yes, Miss Duncan.
Yes, hi. High school ELA teacher here.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you what I do a lot of the time. Besides, of course, first writing assignment being in person, so I can get to know my students and what they're capable of doing. I don't know what's the I'm driving right now, so I didn't get to see the format. But do we have a guideline for how they're going to write this? For example, if we have them use some type of like a Google Doc, we can always see their writing history. So you're not seeing just a big glob of text copy and pasted somewhere. That helps you see where they're going back and forth and what they're writing as they're continuously going. And if you keep it on a Google Doc, some of the assignments, like what I would do is you add something maybe like you add a sentence, right? That's like, great. I love to eat bananas, and you have that in a font that's so small that you can't see it, and in the same color as the paper, so that if they copy and paste the text, they won't know that that's being copied in it. And if they, chat GPT or something like that, stuff will
Right.
come up about it, and sometimes they don't even see that it's talking about a banana in their story or whatever the case is. You'll see certain words or something like that that comes up. That's all that stuff. But the main thing, it would be like creating a Google Doc that they can use so that we can check the history of their writing.
Okay. I want to talk to you more about that. So you're saying that there'll be a lot of Google Docs. um, yeah,
Because
let's
we don't
talk.
know the student. We don't know the students.
No.
Unless we get the writing in class. Like, I don't know what the schools are gonna pass that stuff on to us. We're not gonna be able to tell what they're really capable of doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I like checking the history of their writing is the best way. You could just constantly see what they did.
Yeah. I want to talk
But
to you more about that, Tristan.
sorry, I think there's some
Um,
room for error with that though, because sometimes students work across platforms. There's certain features
yeah.
that Microsoft Word has that Google doesn't have. So they might document in Word and still copy and paste. So there's still some room
Mm-hmm.
for error in there. It's really
Yeah.
hard to really trigger, to pinpoint who's using AI or not, even with these
Yeah.
little tricks.
I did
Yeah.
put in the chat a question about us contacting the teachers. For example, when we get to the top 10, we could maybe contact their teachers directly. So that would be something that they would have to add on to um, their application, like their teacher, what school they go to, who's their English teacher.
Yeah.
If they're the top 10, for example, that's an easy grab. We can, review their application and look at the teachers, and contact the teacher once we've narrowed down, for example, to the
Yeah.
top 10 or the top 5 or something like that.
Okay. So just so you know that even although we are opening this to the schools in the community, it is also any student that lives in the community. Right. So it could be someone who lives in the community but not necessarily goes to any of the high schools. But yes, I did have in here in the framework, they had to put their school name, the grade level, and of course their full name, because we do want to be sure that they do come from the community.
We should also probably just have them add the teacher's name as well, their English
Yeah.
teacher, their English language arts teacher. That's just my suggestion.
Okay. So add the teacher's name. Anyone else?
I think the suggestion, Monica McCain Brown, I think the suggestion for adding the teacher's name and also seeing some type of history of the students' writing is important, because we do not know those students. For instance, when I was in the classroom or if I was looking at some work, I would be familiar with the student. So I think those are good ideas. To me, really,
Okay.
a child passing a reading test doesn't necessarily say how that child's writing could be. So I think getting some prior information, as was suggested by a couple of people, I think
Yeah.
that's very important to know, because it's not to say that we work with the kids and we know what their writing skills
Right.
are. And
Okay.
the AI is just, it's so much, and there's some useful parts, but it's more or less given the child, I think they, being honest, ethical. I think that whatever it is in this world today, kids still have to know that. And it's plagiarism, I mean, to a large extent, if they're using it in the wrong direction.
Yeah. And there are ways you can look for plagiarism and stuff, because there are tools you can use, but AI is so hard to
Yes,
detect. And as these AI platforms continue, they will just get more and more and more smarter as they go. So it makes me wonder, what will happen to essay writing competitions moving forward. Because even if you tell a child, well, oh, you got to write it by hand, doesn't mean they can't copy it, from
That's it.
something. So it's interesting to see where where this is going. All right. I'm taking notes for everything that you guys are telling me so that we can just get this right. This is just the first draft of this framework, but you will see, some of the ideas that you guys have suggested to go in here.
Can I
So
just say one more
yeah,
thing? I'm sorry.
yes,
I
Ms.
want to
Wall.
I want to refine my request. So not just the teacher's name, maybe a recommendation letter from the teacher, or like just a comment, not a letter, but maybe like a paragraph from the teacher, and actually a document that the teacher has said, yes, this child has expressed, this child does have creative writing, or something that is sort of recommending this child, so that we don't have to sort of do that extra work. We can all have all of that information up hand. So maybe on the application, there's a little section where the teacher, their English language art teacher, would fill it out. And then I think that would satisfy Roderick's request
Okay.
for an email as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do agree also that it would only be the finalists, and not, because if we get 50 essays, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to track down 50 teachers to do this. So it would be just the finalists as stated here. Okay, so we're gonna do elementary, middle, and high school. Those are the three categories. We've got the word count. Mr. Blaze, I did change the high school up to 1,400, as you had suggested early. I will add more information in here. We said the teacher's name that we're going to ask for.
Add a section for the teacher's comments on like a small recommendation comment, where the teacher can actually put their own information and email. So for example, if I'm a teacher, I would say, John has been, has been a creative writer in my class, and has, or is struggling but has great creative ideas. I think this would be a great opportunity for him. Mrs. Walls, my email, blah, 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 blah. Just something a little from the teacher, so that we have it already. So even when you're narrowing it down to 10 people, you don't have to go back to that teacher. You kind of have something from the teacher already. And if you have to
Right.
ask any questions, you have an email to ask questions.
Okay, great. Just gonna run through the rules for participation. Yes. Was someone saying something?
One question.
Yes.
How involved are the schools in determining the children who will do their writing? Do you send
That will
information to the
depend.
school?
Yes, it's going out to the schools, but that
It's
will
going out to the
depend
school.
on how
Oh.
involved the teachers want to be. So in the past, like when we had the spelling bee, like sometimes you would have there would be a particular teacher that's, like, hey, we I'm going to do my whole class, right? Or I got a subset of students that I want to enter this. So it depends on how much the school wants to be
School wants
involved.
to be involved.
If that teacher is saying, hey, I want my whole class to enter it, hey, I'm here for it.
Okay.
Kamara, so I saw your question. No, it's not just public schools, because we also do have private schools and charter schools in our community that are kids or young folks who live in the community go to. So I'm not going to segregate them from this. but it is all of our kids who live or go to school in the community. Okay, so we have rules for participation. The word count must meet the limits assigned to each grade category. Grammar, spelling, and punctuation. Writing should show care, accuracy, and proper mechanics. Now, this part, when it comes to the grammar, spelling, and punctuation, Kevin, I know you have a take on this. You want to share it with us?
Yeah, sure, Gail. I was trying to figure out a way that we can not make the focus as heavy on grammar and spelling, because the aim with this is to try to get students to want to volunteer to write the essay and to participate and to start writing. Now, you may have students that can tell an amazing story, but their grammar and their spelling is not up to par, and they won't join in the essay because they feel their grammar and their spelling is not up to standard. When we want to encourage them to get involved in the writing, and then they can work on their grammar, their spelling as they develop their writing skills, as opposed to rewarding someone who maybe their story isn't as good, but their spelling and grammar is on point. So I kind of want to, if we can pull back from making the grammar and spelling as one of the main focal points of the testing, and see if we can pull in more storytellers that way, if you guys understand what I'm trying to say.
Anyone got any comments around that?
I like that idea. I think it's good, especially because, sorry, was someone else talking?
No, go ahead, Ms. Calderon.
I think it's a good idea, especially because so many of our scholars are already behind post-COVID. I think it's a good motivating idea for them.
Okay. Anyone else?
I also want to chime in that I like that idea. It encourages the creativity of the child as opposed to just the focus on the grammar and the technical stuff.
Anyone else?
I support that to a point, but we can't ignore the fact that one's writing has to be somewhat very clear, and somewhat the grammar has to play a role, probably not the significant role. The person wouldn't get 100%, but you must take some part of it into consideration, the grammar especially.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't give a perfect score to anyone who has bad grammar.
Are we going to be
So,
using the
We were not
rubric?
going to give.
that's exactly what I was about to say. I was about to ask a
Yes.
question.
If
So
you use
Yes.
I think that once we have defined the categories, right, we
Mhm.
place a weight
Right.
on the each category. And I think that the educators like myself, who's an administrator, or other educators that are on this group, can, even at their own school, if they're in a school, to bring in a copy of their rubric from their school, and then or upload it so they can get to the group, and then we manipulate it to what we want our writings to be like. But I think grammar, I think we too much education has moved away from grammar, and kids cannot write, they cannot speak. I mean, things that they can't even read. They can't even read cursive. Like, you write cursive to somebody and they can't read it. All right.
Right.
So all of those things have to be. Yeah, I know there's Chat GPT and all this spell check, but the basic spelling, SATs, there's no Chat GPT. There's no check spell on your SATs. And if you're not able to use sophisticated words when you're writing your essays for college, you're not going to get into a good college.
Right.
So all of these things that we're talking about right here, we have to look at the reality. The reality is our kids are not accomplishing what they need to accomplish and
Mhm.
their potential because we're not challenging them. And so
Exactly.
we have to challenge them to get to the point.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Wholeheartedly agree with those things.
I
I
agree.
guess as
I agree.
educators, we see that our kids are not doing,
Mhm.
and they have to. This is the world that we live in. So yes, there must be a rubric with a certain percentage because they're going to go out in the world and they must know how to write and they must know how grammar and syntax, etc., go together. So I do
Exactly.
agree that it's not the focus if it's creative
Okay.
writing, but there must be some consideration
Some
for
level.
grammar,
Yes.
spelling, etc.,
Yeah.
etc.
And
And
I'm thinking a rubric will be able to, we can, create a scale, creative
yes.
writing, grammar. We can list those things down in the rubric, scale it from 1 to 5, you know what I'm saying? So it would, it'll help us or even help
Mhm.
this child.
We have to
Yeah.
stop making
So there
it.
is a rubric coming.
Mhm.
I did create it. I just got so busy at work today that there's a whole set of other things around this that I had to print out and do. But of course, yes, there is a rubric that will give us the different areas of what we're looking for and how to um, score them. I I hear what Mr. Blaze is saying and Ms. Calderon, and I hear the educators and stuff. I hear what you guys are saying, and I I understand the concept. I also wonder, like, if the school is doing this, let's say a teacher decides to do this with her class, she's going to focus also on that grammar and punctuation and stuff like that, right? Because I think historically, essay writing competitions, like, that's the number one thing that people look at. Does the subject and the verb agreement and, the correct punctuation? Do you put, whether you put a question mark, whereas you're asking a question in a sentence instead of a period, that sort of thing. I I don't want to push our kids away from that in doing this because yes, I do agree we live in the real world and this, they need to learn these things because it is detrimental for them in moving ahead with their academics. But I also feel like we ourselves, like, if we read something and a child uses an instead of and, right? It could be a simple mistake, but how harsh do we want to be? Do we want to say, well, oh, you don't know the difference between an or and, or you don't know the difference between using is or are? See what I'm saying? So I want us to meet somewhere in the middle with this, but um it does, there has to be some focus on the grammar, but I want us to get to the point, like, how much how
Chair
much
Grandis,
we,
I think once you have created the rubric or we have created a rubric, it's something for us to critique, right? So I don't know. I think if anything, right now we're looking at maybe. I think that that committee should create the rubric and bring it back, and we refocus it instead of spending, you know, this time um, to get there because we're never going to come to consensus until somebody sees something physical that they're working from.
I
So
get that. I was just trying to get ideas based on the rubric that I have, that I did here to share out to see if this is something. So I have a framework also. So I was just trying to get some ideas as to how it flows. We need to decide if this will be a technical or creative price. Miss Wall?
Yes.
Okay, and then Ms. Busby said creative writing could include writing in ebonics or emphasis on verbiage that related to the generation. So true.
That's why we need to decide if we really want something technical or creative. Because like, I'm sorry, I'm not sure who spoke, the gentleman who led us in this, but you, getting caught up in all of the technicalities, you may find something that's really technically sound and is
Hmm.
not necessarily, a good piece of
Right.
writing.
So what I think, and correct me if I'm correct, Mr. Blaze, when we first spoke about this, we were looking more of the creative side, yes?
Yes, it's the you, and this is why when I spoke, I spoke about not wanting to deter
Hmm.
creatives because they may not be up to par with their level of spelling and grammar. It's a huge industry out there, and not saying that spelling and grammar is not important, but you can go so much further with your creativity in this industry, which when we Gail and I spoke in the beginning, we're not involved in enough. So my thing is, I don't want to deter
Right.
students who have a creative side, but they're not on the level that they feel they should be, or they're not on the level that they are, when they can join in the competition, have an amazing story, and they can develop their spelling and grammar as they go on. My thing is not to leave any of them out because they feel they're not up to par. Like, let's not have
Yeah.
tunnel vision and just say, okay, the grammar has to be this, and this, and then we're leaving a whole set of children out that can
Yeah.
actually make some noise in this industry.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, can I just make a comment? And because I'm going to make this
Quickly.
comment. The rubric that we're talking about will denote everything that we're looking at. So the rubric, there's a section on it that says creativity. There's a
Yes.
section on it that says footprint, footnote. There's a section on it that says grammatical errors. There is a section on the instructions that denotes clearly what the essay should be about. That is why the rubric needs to be written. Now, the grammar could be only worth 5%, 10%. We can determine that. Creativity can be worth 15%, 20%. We can
Hmm.
determine that, and so forth. So we're going back and forth on this conversation, which I'm just simply saying that that putting it mildly, creating the rubric, sending the rubric out, assessing what needs to be assessed on the rubric will clearly state the weight of this piece, the importance of this piece based upon the weight, but also the acknowledgement of the piece. For a simple thing like word count, you get a 4 on word count because you need to have 350 words. If you go over 350, you can be no more than 400. They get penalized for that. They get penalized for under 350. You put it on the rubric. These are easy fixers and things, but your rubric clearly should
Get
state
it.
any right. That's it. Right. Thank you.
Yeah, got it.
Can I just say something though? Because on the sheet of paper, everything is 10% right now. So then perhaps that rubric needs to be done before this is sent out, because the way it
Yes.
reads
Yes,
is
it will
that
be.
everything has the same amount of percentage. And
Yes.
so that is the conversation. I think that I think that's what's leading this conversation, is that everything that you have down as far as judging criteria and scoring, the rubric can be whatever it is, but right now everything is
Yes.
10%.
Yes, and I just put that there as a placeholder because these are things that we need to correct. I just put a number there.
So I think we should probably decide what the rubric is important. Yes, yes, yes. But we also need to decide how much we really want to give each segment,
Mm-hmm.
what percentage we really want to give it, because looking at it now, everything is 10%. If we're going to change the percentages, then we don't really have to, worry about what the rubric is, because the percentages will be the percentages.
Right. So as I just said, that number is just a placeholder. That was just put there. That is not hold in stone. This would change. There is a rubric that I have, and this is why I want to discuss it with you guys, and also have that subcommittee that we can meet to go through all of this. So just ignore the score numbers. Don't they're not made of cement or stone. They will be changed depending on what we come up with and what we decide based on the categories. All right. Just want to move forward quickly because it's 8:44. So the prizes, first, second, and third place in each category. Do you think we should do that, or just do a first in each category? And the only reason I put that there is because this is how we do it with the spelling bee, but I just want to be sure. I think one of the things we have to look at also is in terms of how many of the prizes and stuff we have. So do we just want to do a first for each of them, or what's quickly, just like, what do you guys think? Should we do a first, second, third, or just first?
I think we should have first, second, and third. To only have the first, it might not be so exciting for the children.
We too. And it gives the
Okay.
opportunity for other, other kids
Yeah.
to win something.
Right.
Okay. All right. So we will talk some more about, because I have to check the board to see what prizes and stuff we have, how many we have over there, and maybe we can get some donations for other prizes and stuff. Okay. So I just want to stop there right now. The other parts, disqualification conditions and stuff, we're going to do more into that. But who would like to be on this subcommittee to work on this? And I know I've got Mr. Blaze, I got Ayana. I saw someone else said, was it Miss Calderon?
Yeah, it was me.
Okay. Can you drop do I have your email address?
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, thank you. Was there anyone else? Miss Duncan.
Let's see. I'll assist.
Miss Mark. Okay. And I'll go with one more person as a tiebreaker. Well, I guess I'm in there. But if anyone else wants to be part of this group, please send me an email. Let me know, because we will need, some folks to do some reading and scoring and stuff. So maybe in that other section, if we work on this, then maybe we can get other folks to, do the reading and scoring and stuff like that, so that everybody participates from the committee. Okay. Miss Wall, yes. Okay. All right, let me just Rudy, I'm gonna give you 5 minutes. Is there anything that you want to share with the committee?
Yes, thank you. Yes. I don't want to reiterate some of the stuff that you said. Thank you, Chair Grandison, for inviting out the community to a lot of events. I just want to, the few things. One is on Saturday's event for the toy giveaway. We are part of the assistance. So if there's anybody on the committee who volunteer for the Reset Talk Show, that's the one at Reflection Church. We do need some volunteers to come out and support the event. We also know that it is we have food from Popeyes and McDonald's for the kids, for them to salivate on, so for them to come out. I know we don't like McDonald's, some of us together, but it is what it is. They like it, and I guess that's good. And the Popeyes, I like Popeyes. So come on out, and if you are volunteering, you need to follow up with me, because then we have gifts for the volunteers as well. So please do come out and support. Bring your nephews, nieces, grandnephews, great uncles, your great uncle's children. All of that out to support this event. I think there are more than 200 toys that needs to give it to the community. Second, tomorrow, I want to be very, very clear. I say this at every meeting, and if you come to the meeting, you will turn around and look and see that I'm not making it up. Our community board events, we need more people in person at these events. It is very disheartening when we do events and we don't have support. So bring a friend, bring a neighbor, that person who loves to talk politics and love to talk about how the community is not doing anything. Bring that person to the event. Don't talk about it, be about it. So we do need strong support tomorrow at PS 181. And the last comment is that next week, Wednesday, is our monthly meeting at Downstate. Again, I invite every month. I can ensure that Ms. Duncan, who's a board member, Ms. Mark, who's a board member, Ms. Chair Grandison can attest to when you turn around, our community is not very well represented at our community board. You have a voice, you have a question, you have and Ms. Saunders, who comes as a committee member who does come to the meetings. And I know Ms. McCain. Let me stop calling names, because when it's called names, you start forgetting. But the point is, we need your support. Come out next Wednesday in person in the auditorium. Come and enjoy the meeting. We'll try to get you out, but you have a voice. So please, next week, Wednesday the 17th, and every third Wednesday of the month. The other thing that I want to make sure that we understand is that we have 8 or 9 committees. I don't remember the exact numbers, but you're not going to know everything that's going on within the community from every committee. And please do continue your participation with this one. I don't want to take up sorry. The last thing is Saturday, the same location at 198 in the afternoon is the last pack-in event for Jamaica Hurricane Relief Fund and fundraiser that we're doing. I guess fundraiser is not really the right word, but whatever collection that we're doing. The contingent will be going down to Jamaica on Thursday. There's some from the state elected official, some of the community advocate like myself and others will be going down to Jamaica to see what our distribution looks like and what we have been doing. So we'll be going to parts of Hanover, Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, that area that was hit by the storm while we're there. And I think about 10 electeds and maybe about 10 community persons, depending on the final numbers, that we'll find out by the end of this week, early next week, who will be going. So do come out 3 to 5 at 198. Okay? I think that's
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
Mr. Daly, can you say what items are needed?
So basically, clothes, generators, hospital supplies, non-perishables, things that one of the things I wanted to get is lanterns. So if anybody wants to send a donation, 4 lanterns cost like $30. I want to bring some down because there's no light, especially in St. Elizabeth. There is none. I mean, I'm actually going down, as some of you are well aware. I lost 4 family members during the Hurricane Melissa. And so I'm going to go to that area now for the first time since Hurricane Melissa to see what that looks like. And one of the things that they talk about is that there is no light, there's no electricity. So the lanterns are, I think when I last checked, they were $25 for 4. So we could give out to families, 2 per family, if people want to make a donation to that. You could purchase it from Amazon. I don't know if it'll get here in time, but I am making 2 trips. I'm going down, like I said, on Thursday, and then I'm going back down for the funeral in January. So either way, to be supportive of that. So lanterns, medical supplies, generator, face mask. I believe they're still collecting water, clothes, things for school children, school supplies for school children and the likes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Miss Farah, is there anything, information that we did not speak about that you want to let the committee know about? Remind them or invite them to?
If anybody in this committee is interested in volunteering, wrapping for gifts, I know we mentioned this before, but you can always
Mhm.
message me, send me an email, or just put your information in the chat and I can reach out to you. If you have any information that Ms. Grandison mentioned in the beginning of the meeting, like the newsletter, and you aren't getting that, also feel free to reach out to me so we can all be on the same page and hopefully attend more community events like Mr. Daly mentioned. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Or if you guys have any young, and if you're young folks like high schoolers or college kids, who gets off early, just send them across to the board office to help wrap the toys.
I'm sorry, I do have one
Yes.
more thing. I completely forgot. Thank you for saying that, ADM Farah. There will be a large turnover at the board level this year and the following subsequent years as people are coming off the board because of term limits and whatever the case is, right? If you know you're interested in being on the board, please submit your application. The application is the first step, right? I know as there'll be 5 people coming off the board who cannot reapply. At least that right now, and there will be more. And there are a few people who have told me that they're stepping down. So we'll have some space on the board. So if you are interested in being a board member and you have a young person, by the way, Ms. Duncan, I approached Actor Jordan if he wanted to participate, but he said he's overwhelmed. But if you have young people who are interested in being part of the board, your grandson, your own son, your granddaughter, your niece, your nephew, your whoever, your daughter, your son, whoever, have them apply. And it's now. Application must be in before February 1st.
Miss Ayana, do you hear that?
What you're doing there. I see what you're doing.
You see, they're term
Yeah.
limiting me, so hey. Okay. Anyone else have any information to share? Miss Hudson, were you saying something? No? Okay.
No,
Yeah, go ahead.
no, I was not. My computer was giving some trouble, so I think I got unmuted.
Oh, okay. No problem. It's
All right,
good to
thank
have
you.
you here tonight, by the
This
way.
is nice to be here. Thank you.
Anyone, anything you want to share before we close out? It's 8:57. Okay. If not, I want to wish each and every one of you the very best for the holiday season with your family. Please be safe. Please take care. Enjoy your loved ones. Spend that time with them. Hug them, kiss them, greet them. But have a wonderful holiday and the very best for the new year. I can't believe I'm going to say it's going to be 2026. Oh my gosh. This year ran so fast, but all the best. Take care. It is now 8:57 p.m. Can I get a motion to adjourn the Youth and Education meeting?
Mara
No one wants.
Swaby. I'll be the one to set the motion to adjourn the meeting.
Can I get a second? Thank you, Tamara.
I second.
Who
Simone.
second? I'm sorry.
Monet
Miss
second.
Walls? Okay, thank you, Kamara and Miss Walls. Everyone, thank you. Merry
Bye.
Christmas. Happy New Year to each and every one of you. Thank you for